In May of 1961, one man had a vision and made a promise to the nation.
We set sail on this new theme because there is new knowledge to be gained.
Good morning. Man is about to launch himself on a trip to the moon.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6.
But why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal? We choose to go to the moon.
Just go, all engines, you're looking good.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
Eagle looking great. The Eagle has landed.
With that single step, a vision became reality, and the mission of thousands of scientists and technicians was complete. 25 years later, another man would state his vision and make a promise to his son. The promise was to one day cure paralysis.
It's been shown that a small group of determined people can change the course of history. It's taken the Miami Project 24 years, more than 300 doctors, scientists, clinicians, and over $300 million to bring us unprecedented breakthroughs in medical science. Now curing paralysis is no longer just a glimmer of hope on a distant horizon, because we have the knowledge, we have the manpower, and we have the technology. And today we stand at the threshold of medical history, poised to begin human clinical trials. Like the men and women who aimed for the stars and landed on the moon, 2010 is our moonshot. And when we land, Mark will reach out to me and say, "Dad, mission accomplished."
There's actually a couple of areas that I'm very concerned about and still have a tornado warning for Hunt County.
One moment in time, one split second, and one man's world literally came crashing down around him.
When it hit, it's pretty fast, you know. I'm laying out in the field and not even knowing where my legs were at first. First thing that went through my head was I wanted to call my wife and tell her, you know, what happened. Hey, I'm still alive right now, but I don't know how much longer it's gonna be. I didn't know what was going on inside my body. All I knew is that my back was hurt bad.
We're looking live now at the carnage that's left behind.
33-year-old Rich Beem has a severed spinal cord and is now paralyzed from the waist down.
I got a phone call from a friend of ours, and I almost didn't take the phone call because I'm like, I'll just call him back. But something told me to pick up the phone and just dropped to my knees. That was awful.
Well, I just told him that we'd be there for him. You know, he had his family.
Every day, the impact of Rich's injury presents new challenges.
Just pick up, Dad. Ready?
I do believe he's going to walk again. I think, I do believe that Richard will be able to do the things that he once did. Stand on the sidelines, coach a soccer team, playing ball with his boys.
To walk his daughter down the aisle someday. I think he will walk again.
Taylor started gym at about 4.5 years old, watching the Olympics. And she started doing everything on the floor that the gymnasts were doing. And she says, "Mommy, I want to do that."
Olympic hopeful Taylor Lindsey Noll was handpicked for the National Elite Gymnast Program in Canada.
I don't know if anything else can ever make me feel like that. You just flying through the air. It's scary at the same time, but it's just the best feeling ever.
Her dreams of making the 2012 Olympics in London were at her fingertips. This 14-year-old girl's dreams were shattered when she broke her neck attempting a difficult dismount from the uneven bars.
When I hit the floor, I didn't black out, but it kind of felt as though I was still rolling, and then I realized I couldn't move my body.
So I dropped everything, and I don't know how I got to the hospital, but I got there. Walked into emergency. By then, they had done the CT scans. And Taylor said to me, "Mommy, I don't want to end up in a wheelchair."
And they had to cut off my gym suit, and they did all these field touch tests. And when I couldn't feel anything at that point, I knew something bad had happened.
I was just screaming. Yeah. It's devastating. Nothing prepares you for this. Absolutely nothing. There is no script for what a parent goes through with a child in this situation. Nothing prepares you.
I think the hardest part is that I was so independent and having to rely on people to help me do things. I think that's just the hardest part, not being able, not so much being a gymnast, but not being able to be active like I used to be. It's really hard.
It's been a nightmare. It's been a roller coaster ride. But you know you love your kid. But when something like this happens, it just takes loving your child to a totally, totally different level. And like I said to her, I always knew I loved you, Taylor, but we're in a different class now. We're in a totally different level of loving. I love my child maybe 1,000,000 times more now than I did before.
40 years ago, Apollo 11's historic journey opened the heavens to us. Today, located in the Lois Pope Life Center at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine, the pioneering efforts of the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis may once again alter history and alter our belief in what can be achieved. Dedication, commitment, and conviction have enabled the Miami Project to become the world's most comprehensive research facility dedicated to finding a cure for paralysis.
Our moon is a cure for paralysis. Our astronauts are 5 paraplegics who've been sitting in a wheelchair for years, and they've been chosen to receive the first transplantations of Schwann cells. And this is going to happen in the very near future because of the major investment and focus of the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis.
It's amazing what you can accomplish when you believe in something. Several years ago, Miami Project researchers discovered that cooling the brain or spinal cord after injury improved outcome. We've now moved this exciting hypothermia therapy into people. We cooled our first series of spinal cord patients. It's safe and it appears to improve functional outcome.
I've been part of a team that's making medical history for the past 24 years. And here we are on the verge of clinical trials to see this grow into an unbelievable beacon of hope for the world and the spinal cord injury community.
The ultimate realization of this vision that began with a tragic accident is due in no small part to the unique bond between a father and a son.
You know, something I'll never forget in my life was when my dad made a promise to me at my bedside just days after my injury, and where I couldn't talk and I couldn't breathe. I was on a respirator, tubes in my nose and throat. And I looked up at my dad and he could see in my eyes, help me, Dad. And he made that promise to me. And he's never given up on that promise. I'm here to make that same promise to the spinal cord injury community, to all of our donors, all the people who've given so much to make the Miami Project what it is. The people who believe in our cause. I'm making a promise that I will do whatever it takes in my life to help us find a cure, to make sure that's not just Mark Bonacotti getting out of this wheelchair, that everybody gets out of these wheelchairs. Do I believe? You're damn right I believe. and it's going to happen soon.
Yes, I absolutely do believe we will win the battle against paralysis. He's in a chair, but look at what he's doing with his life. He's just not saying, oh, I'm stuck in this chair. I want to get out of this chair, and I'm going to take a bunch of my buddies with me.
And no one understands the power of belief in achieving the seemingly impossible any better than a man who walked on the moon, Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin.
The Apollo 11 mission touched the collective dreams of millions while pushing science and technology swiftly forward at an unprecedented pace. Those same revolutionary advances have mapped new possibilities for paralyzed people all over the world. Now we must all take that final step into developing the cures that will allow millions to walk again.
Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. When you believe. Oh, hope is free. It's hard to get. Who knows what miracles you can achieve? When you believe. So you just believe. Just believe when you believe.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.